Welcome to Batman Beyond right here at Comicstorian. To catch you up on a quick recap of our last storylines, Terry McGinnis and his brother Matt became Batman and Robin Beyond, and they eventually battled against a resurrected Joker. Joker wanted to reenact what happened to the last Robin he got to mess with by killing Matt, but in the end, Terry saved Matt, and it was decided that Matt would give up being a Robin Beyond. Things are a little tense between Bruce, Matt, and Terry at this point, but if this is your first time here, let me explain who we are. We're the Comicstorian channel. We like to give you the information on your favorite pop culture universe, be it breaking down the storyline in a comic book, giving you the synopsis to a movie, or explaining what happened in your favorite video game. We try to catch you up on pop culture lore so that you can listen to it while cooking or going on a road trip. And if you want to chat with us about this, join us over at Twitter at Comicstorian, where we can talk about being the weird part of YouTube. Now, let's continue with Batman Beyond, issue 31, 32, 33. Divide, Conquer, and Kill. With Joker's recent attempt at a comeback failed, Terry and Matt were forced to face off against the members of the Joker's gang, which almost resulted in Matt being killed. Since then, Bruce has decided to stop by Arkham Asylum to see just how Dr. Sheehan has been rehabilitating her inmates. Sheehan states that she likes to refer to people here as her guests. Terms like inmates minimize their impressions of themselves and inhibit their potential for a full recovery. With Wayne Enterprises' generous contributions, they've been seeing good results in their guests. And as the two begin to walk through the facility, the lights go out and Sheehan sighs, stating that there it goes again. Please accept her apologies, their equipment is quite old. Bruce waits for a moment, telling her that it might be possible that this is something more. Sheehan tells him that that's ridiculous. As soon as their generator kicks in, they'll be... But as she speaks, the lights come back on and Bruce has seemingly moved places. She asks, "See? Nothing to worry about." And Bruce tells her, "Maybe you're right, but I have to go. Other places to visit, you know how it is." As Bruce gets into his car, he sits down asking Alfred if they have anything to drink. Alfred tells him there is something in the compartment to his left. But isn't it a bit early for a drink? Bruce pours himself a glass, telling him, "Not after spending time in Arkham. And you may want to keep your opinions to yourself." Later, as Bruce returns to the mansion, Terry and Matt tell him that it's perfect timing that he arrived. He sips his drink, stating, "Sure, kid, what's up?" Terry explains that recently there's been a lot of break-ins at the former Powers Tech facilities. They're hoping that he would have some inside knowledge from when Powers Tech and Wayne Enterprises had merged. If they were to get his personal access to those records, they might be able to look into the matter before any more break-ins happen. And Bruce stops him. "No. Places don't get much nastier than Arkham. Screams echoing through the halls can shake a mansion." The two head down into the Batcave, and once Bruce presses down on the fingerprint reader, the computer tells them that the files are now open. Matt looks through, telling them that they're on the right track. It would seem that Powers Tech has had a few facilities that were off books. Terry then begins to suit up, stating that that's the break they needed. They'll start with Powers Prime and work from there. A short while later, Terry sneaks into Powers Prime facility and radios back that this place looks like it hasn't been active in years. But just before he could investigate, he's suddenly hit from behind by a man in silver and gold. Terry quickly gets back to his feet, asking where did he go, but the man vanishes. And at that moment, the man appears again, hitting Terry, telling him, "I'm right in front of you." But something is off. When the villain speaks, it sounds like there are two people speaking. The man keeps disappearing and reappearing, attacking from all angles, and Terry gets back up, telling him, "All right, I've had enough. If I can't see you, then I'll even the odds of smoke grenades." He tosses out the capsules, and the man hits him again, telling him, "Do you think that would save you from us?" As Terry is hit, he asks, "We?" And he looks up to see two men, one in silver and one in gold. The one in silver tells the other that they have what they came for. They need to go. The one in gold picks up Terry, telling him, "Not yet, we don't." And Terry asks, "Do you guys got a name or something?" The man in gold slams Terry into the wall, telling him, "You can call a split." And the man in silver yells, "That isn't necessary." The man in gold then throws Terry into the vault, and the silver one slows down to catch his breath, telling him, "We've been separated too long. Hurry, Caden." Caden hits the switch to lock Terry in, but as he does, the man in silver and him begin to merge together into one. Caden then says that they can leave after they start this one up, Adam. It's a gravity chamber. Once the machine starts, Terry is pulled to the ground and begins to scream in pain. And Adam yells, "You have to stop!" But Caden tells him, "No, we aren't the ones killing him, it's the chamber. The gravitational forces are pulling him down through the floor. It'll only take seconds to tear his spine right out of his body." Back in the Batcave, Matt helplessly watches his brother and the current Batman die. And he asks Bruce, "What are we gonna do? Terry is dying! But Bruce, seemingly out of character, sips his drink. I have no clue. Meanwhile, back in Arkham, a man in a straitjacket and a helmet yells to let him out. He shouldn't be here. He's not who they think he is. He can't remember who he is. Back at the Batcave, Matt shouts that they have to do something. Bruce is acting like he doesn't even care. And Bruce tells him, no, that's not true. It's just, I don't see a solution here. I'm sorry to say, but this could be the end, Matt. Matt looks back at the computer, telling him, no, there's gotta be something we can do. Maybe if we go through the files from where Wayne Enterprises and Powers Technology were in business together. That might give us something that'll give us access to the facility's control. Matt begins to sift through the files until he finds what he's looking for and he yells, that's it! The gravity generator control panel! He tells Terry to hang on as he presses the button, and suddenly the gravity generator stops. Terry takes a deep breath, telling him, nice work, Matt, but unfortunately it looks like Split is gone. So Matt asks, who was that guy anyway? And Terry tells him that he must have been a teleporter who could divide into two because he's two people fused into one. From the way they talked, it sounded like they were brothers. Beyond that, he's a mystery to me. Heading back for repairs. Bruce tells him, looks like everything worked out, but I'm feeling a little wiped out, so I'm gonna call it a night. Matt asks, what about Split? And Bruce tells him, that's a job for tomorrow. Gonna go catch some Z's. Later that night, after getting the batsuit into the rehab tube, former Royal Flush gang member Melanie walks in stating that it sounds like Batman is likely to be alive right now. Is there anything I can do to help you, Terry? And Terry tells her that he was just caught by surprise. It won't happen again. Besides, he needs to head back out. Split seemed to have detailed knowledge on the secret projects that Powers Technology was working on. Looks to be collecting specific items. I've already faced him once. There shouldn't be any surprises now. As Terry leaves, Melanie yells that if he needs a hand, 10 is ready to fly. And once he goes, Melanie asks, where's the big man? And Matt tells her that he's sleeping. Wish he was here to monitor the action though. Maybe we could wake him up and... Alfred tells him that he's unable to comply. Mr. Wayne left the mansion 1 hour and 47 minutes ago. But Matt pauses for a second asking, where could he have gone? And Alfred says that Mr. Wayne has forbidden me from divulging that information. Meanwhile, over at the Le Coin Perdue Casino, Bruce steps out of his car and the valet tells Bruce to enjoy himself. And Bruce says, with the money I have, I intend to. Over at the second Powers Tech facility, Terry scans the area and notices a heat signature coming out of one of the lower levels. He uses the jet on his boots to start cutting out a hole, but before he can finish, Adam and Caden appear as Split and they knock him through the ground as Caden says that they are so done with him. As they fall, Adam says, it doesn't have to be this way. And Caden tells him, shut up and stop whining. He deserves what he's gonna get. Terry kicks Split back, telling him, I'm wise to you now. Your tricks aren't going to work. I know about the teleporting. Split stops and Adam asks him, did he say teleporter? And Caden tells him, yes, he did, which means Batman couldn't be ready for this. Split begins to spin around Terry at super high speeds, beating him with a pipe. And Terry simply says, all right, I was wrong. They're right. Both Caden and Adam tell him, we're a speedster. Split continues swinging and Caden says, if it wasn't for this armor, you'd be dead. But while Terry tries to get back up, back in the Batcave, Matt and Melanie scan the city for Bruce until they find him at a poker table. Matt says, it's like he couldn't care less about Terry. What in the world is wrong with Mr. Wayne? However, back at Arkham, the guards return to the helmeted man, telling him, it's time for your 20 minutes outside, let's go. The man pushes the guards back with his body, yelling, I don't belong here! And the guards shock him, telling him, if you do that again, you won't be going anywhere for a week. Now you better straighten up, false face. However, back at the Powers Tech facility, Split reaches for a device, and Adam says that this is the Matrix unit that they were looking for. All they need is this, and they can. But Terry jumps down, telling them, you aren't going anywhere, and he tackles into both Adam and Caden. Adam and Caden split apart, telling him that he had his chance. This is all he's getting. So Terry reaches for the Matrix unit, but before he can grab it, Caden punches him, telling him, you're too slow. While Caden hits Terry, Adam grabs the unit, stating that they have it. It's time to go! So Terry gets up, looking at them. And he tosses out small explosive pods. Caden runs, picking the explosives out of the air, telling him that it's really easy for him to pluck these out and throw them back at him, you know? Terry quickly begins to wonder what it'll take to beat this guy. Any words of wisdom from Bruce on how to handle this? And Matt tells him, that's the thing. Bruce is gone, and believe it or not, he's betting up a storm at a casino. As Bruce is leaving the casino with his date, he tells Alfred to take him home and tell those people at the house to get lost. And once they're gone, change the security codes to bar entry. Alfred advises against that, but Bruce shouts, "Do it!" And back at the Batcave, Alfred tells Matt and Melanie that he regrets to do this, but they must vacate the premises immediately. Matt tells Terry he's got to do something. Bruce isn't far from his location, and that's when Bruce sees Terry flying by as Batman, telling Alfred to land the car. He's gonna take care of this. Once the car lands, Bruce steps out telling Terry, "You're messing with my date." And Terry lands asking, "What is going on? We're all worried about you and you are not acting like yourself." So Bruce asks Alfred to go ahead and block transmission back to the cave. Once the feed is cut, Bruce tells him, "Good. Now that we're offline," he takes out a gun, firing it into Terry's chest. Terry stumbles, asking, "What was that?" And Bruce tells him, "Neural shocker. It means you'll live." And just then, Bruce charges forward, throwing both him and Terry over the ledge. While that goes on, Melanie goes to Arkham to try and find some clues as to what is actually happening. And that's when she and Dr. Sheehan go over the events of what happened when Bruce came by. And Melanie notices something. She goes to where Bruce was, or where he was when the lights came on, asking, "Who is in this cell?" She opens the door and Sheehan tells her to stop, but the cell door suddenly opens up and a helmeted man rushes out. The man begins to fight Melanie back and easily take on the guards. And as one of the guards swings their choker, the man wraps himself around it and uses it to knock the guards down. Melanie then grabs it and shocks the man, telling him, "We're gonna need you to calm down." But while she fights with the masked man back at the Batcave, Terry returns and Matt asks him what happened. Terry lands, telling him, "Yeah, Wayne happened. The old man shot me." Matt asks why would Bruce do that, and Terry tells him that Bruce isn't acting like himself because it isn't Bruce. Some identical doppelganger has taken his place. Terry then tells Alfred to confirm his identity and override Bruce's command. "Get me a feed of Arkham Asylum." As the cameras come on, they see Melanie unmasking the men who attacked them and reveals him to be Bruce. She says that the prisoner who was in the cell grabbed Bruce during the power outage, put him in a straitjacket, and walked out of here wearing Bruce's face, a prisoner called Falseface. Sheehan explains that Falseface can assume someone's identity, and the person that he becomes loses all sense of themselves. They kept Falseface in a Promethean helmet in order to inhibit his powers, but if he escaped, Matt then says that if that's the case, we wouldn't be able to tell him from a street beggar to the mayor. Terry tells him, yeah, he could be anyone. And while everyone comes to this realization, down in a back alley in a bad part of Neo-Gotham, Terry wakes up asking, Who am I? Well, that brings us to the first 3 issues of this 6-issue arc that involves Batman Beyond and this new villain, Falseface. We've gotten ourselves a false Bruce and now a false Terry. So what's going to happen going forward? And I want to give you guys a little bit of a hint. I'm not going to drop exactly what's going to happen, but think about this for a moment. We have a speedster in the future, in a universe that is basically the future of the DC universe. Who do you think we're finally going to see in the Batman Beyond universe in the next episode? So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on that bell for notifications. We're going to be getting to the finale of this one relatively soon, probably next week or early the week after. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Batman Beyond is one of my favorite books coming out of DC. I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. I really don't have much more to say other than please consider following me over at Twitter at Comicstorian. I'd really appreciate that. And I'll see you guys next time right here.